Wow, that was amazing, and you know that truly is the gospel. I think in that 4 minutes, propaganda managed to contain the whole of the gospel. The fact that God, although we were far away, we were separated from God, and we were living in sin and in dirt and trying to live lives our own way. He reconciled us through Jesus Christ, and just poured out His love all over us, and aren't I grateful for that? So that was amazing, and we want to say a big thank you to Dare to Share Ministries. We want to say thank you to Propaganda for giving us permission to share that video with all our viewers, and I bet it's had an amazing impact. But earlier on, coming back to today's show, earlier on we were talking about superheroes. So coming back to the topic, me and Aldrin a while ago were talking about superheroes. We watched a few films. Spider-Man came out. Avengers came out, which is amazing. Thor's the only one I didn't watch, I think. And I've still got to watch the new Spider-Man. No, not the new Spider-Man. The new Batman, Dark Knight Rises. So I've got to watch that, but it's on my list. And we were saying, what is it that makes superheroes super? What is it?
I just want to say something. I went to watch Batman, yeah, and I saw a sneak peek. It wasn't even a trailer of the new Superman movie coming out next year, though, but I can't wait for the new Superman.
Right. We're going to have to get Aldrin off this show if he's going to carry on going about Superman. You should be in the Superman film, man. You should be in the film.
I so should.
I think so.
I think everyone should just vote me to be the next Superman.
Yeah, guys, do that. Not. Anyway, we are talking about why are superheroes super? I mean, what makes it superhero amazing and super? So what are the qualities that makes one better than the other? What are the qualities that makes you have a favorite superhero? And so we sat down together and we talked about it, and we thought, okay, these are the qualities we think. So we've got some qualities, some characteristics, some personality traits for you guys that we thought would make an ideal superhero.
Yeah.
And how, oh, here comes the interesting part. And we're going to be talking about how the superhero supersedes all other superheroes.
Hey, I like that. So, yeah, superheroes have these distinct qualities about them, which is different from normal people, which is different from the people who are doctors, who are lawyers, even though doctors are doing good things and helping people out. But something about superheroes that makes them stand out even more. It's like they're going the extra mile, or shall we say they're going extra thousands of miles, even some of them. Like Superman, he flies in the whole universe. You know what I mean? Great. Let's look at some qualities that we discovered, and we just think these are the qualities that really make these men or women, let's not be very sexist,
Thank you.
that makes them stand out. So the first one we really want to look at is sacrifice, and it's how these people, these men and women, they give up everything. They give up, or some of them we observe in films, they give up them relationships, they give up their time, they give up their money. Batman gives up a lot of his money in his films to design and to research into a lot of cool stuff, and which also stuff that helps people out. And we also see, I was watching the Amazing Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man film out, and we saw how Spider-Man, Peter Parker, had to give up his relationship with Mary Jane, which actually made some of the girls might have actually cried seeing that, but it was kind of sad to see how like they love each other, they want to be with each other, but because Mary Jane's father makes Peter promise him that he will not carry on with the relationship because she will be in danger, so Peter Parker had to give up his relationship with Mary Jane and sacrifice that, even though he wanted it, just so he can take on the responsibility of being a superhero, and so he could not put Mary Jane in trouble. So this is the one thing we do, is that we do have to sacrifice, or superheroes do have to sacrifice when they are living their life.
Definitely, I think, I think every superhero, like Aldrin said, sacrifices at least something or the other, and I think all of them definitely sacrifice their time to try and help the community and do good for them.
Yeah, and let's move on to the superhero who supersedes maybe Batman who supersedes Superman.
Oh, did you just say that?
I just said it. Superman is my favorite superhero, but he's a fiction still. You know what I mean? But now, when we talk about this superhero, this is not fiction. This is not something made up. This is reality. He actually did it. He actually went through this. This is real life. When we're talking about this superhero, we don't want you to be thinking, you know what I mean, he's in the same category. And that's what we said. He's in a different league of his own. He's totally beyond what you have seen in films. And this is Jesus Christ himself, the man who is God, who gave up his position as God, in sense, his right, his privileges as God, and who became a man to live for us. And he sacrificed all of his glory. The Bible talks about his throne in heaven. He sacrificed the angels serving him. He sacrificed the angels worshiping him. He sacrificed everything just so he could have a relationship with you. And so this is the superhero that we're talking about, who gave up not just time, not just money, not just relationships, who gave up everything. Like, I've heard some stories about people who've been to heaven. They're like, we didn't want to come back, and God don't send us back. So, you know, I mean, imagine God coming down to serve us. It is amazing. And no, we see the word Christian, and we want to bring something different. You know, so you see, this is the superhero that we're talking about. He gave up so much. He suffered. See, with sacrifice comes suffering naturally. Yeah. And Jesus suffered so much. And I was just talking to Prabhu earlier how Jesus suffered so much physically for us. Mm-hmm. You know, he was whipped 39 times, and these whips were multiple leather whips coming down, and these had metal bits like nails and stuff in it.
Ouch.
And I don't know if some of you guys have seen the Passion of the Christ, and it actually shows Jesus being whipped, and it shows how the nails are going into his skin, into his flesh, and it comes out, and this flesh is coming out, and you can see the bare bones, and you can just see his hand just like going all like this, shaking from the bare pain.
I can't even watch that film. I have to skim through it, and then I think to myself, wait, this is a film, and Jesus did this for real. Like,
I know.
How can we not be thankful for it? And it just sends shivers down my spine, and I just break down in tears every time I think about it.
And so this is the sacrifice that Jesus has done for us. He sacrificed. See, he did not just sacrifice things like a relationship outside of himself. See, Batman might sacrifice money outside of him, or even Iron Man, or other superheroes that we see in films, but Jesus sacrificed himself, himself, not something outside, not a material, but his own mind, body, spirit, and soul. This is the superhero that we're talking about. His sacrifice is on a whole different level, and this is why Jesus Christ supersedes any other superhero. And see, the thing is, this is so amazing. The superhero that we're talking about, he will actually give you the power to be like him. He will not only save you. This superhero is so cool, right?
Revelation time.
So this superhero doesn't just save us, he also gives us the ability to save others. And so, you know, the word Christian, see, when you follow Christ, when you follow Jesus Christ and come into a relationship with him, the word Christian itself means Christ-like, or little Christ. And so it means that we are to be looking at Christ, and we are to be replicating Christ. We are to be showing Christ. We are to be little Christ. And the Bible also says, as he is, so are we in this world. And so we just want to tell you guys that it is clear from the teaching of the Bible, and this is what God desires for us, that we are to be acting like Jesus in this world. We are to be acting like mini superheroes, if you want to call it that. So we cannot be superheroes like Jesus, but we can be mini superheroes. Yeah, it reminds me of mini me for some reason. Quite funny. But yeah, so it reminds me of a phrase of being like Jesus that has been coming back to me recently so much over it. And the phrase goes like, what would Jesus do? Some of you might have heard this. There's an abbreviation to it, which you can see, you can get some, you know, like these bands that you wear, it comes up with WWJD. What would Jesus do? And as Christians, you know, we're faced with different conditions, situations in our life, or just generally, we have so many choices that we make daily. And I think it's crucial for a Christian, if he's going to be living like Christ, to ask the question, what would Jesus do in this situation? And that's the way we are to be living it. So the phrase is, what would Jesus do? So next time you're making a choice, whether you're walking down the road and you see an old lady, you know what I mean? That's the typical example. You help her to carry her bags. And so this is, you ask, what would Jesus do? And you do, and as Nike would say, just do it.
I like that little tagline in the end. He's advertising for Superman, he's advertising for Nike, so we better get paid for this, guys. Yeah, that was amazing, and it's so true. That should be our desire all the time, to do as Jesus did. The next characteristic that we looked at was humility. Now, humility is one characteristic I think an ideal superhero should have, and every superhero should have. But I don't know about you, Aldrin. There's not many superheroes I see out there with humility.
Yeah,
all I can see is pride, and all these superheroes full of pride. It's prideness, pride.
You're making up words like daily now.
I should be writing my own dictionary, I reckon. It'd be called Hunjan's Dictionary 2012. But anyway, before we write a dictionary, most of these superheroes are full of pride, especially like Avengers we were watching. Iron Man is constantly full of pride. He's got his way about it. It's either his way or the highway. He's arguing with Captain America. He's arguing with everyone else, and he's showing off about how he knows it all, and all of this. And you know, it's until he's arguing, until he's trying to get his own way out of everything, until he's trying to be right all the time, they're not going anywhere. And the rest of the team can't function properly. They can't do what they're proposed to do. Then they can't fulfill the purpose that they were came together for in the first place. And it's only when he stops fighting, he stops arguing with Captain America, and it's only when he humbles himself inside that we see that they work together as a team and they get the job done. And I think what's a revelation I had while I was looking at this was pride kept them apart. Pride kept the team apart. And it wasn't just Iron Man's pride; it was other superheroes too. But I think that's something we can apply to you know, all of our lives. That pride will keep you apart from blessings. Pride will keep you apart from opportunities. Pride will keep you away from God sometimes, because you're so full of pride. You're like, no, I've already prayed, man. I've already prayed for 5 whole minutes now. I've already told God what I want. I've already said thank you to Him once. So that's more than enough, surely. But I'm joking about that. But pride will keep you away from so much more that God has for you.
I remember you talking about this scripture in the Bible about pride and humility. Yeah, that was such a revelation. Prabhu was just sharing. I was like, wow, this is just amazing.
I was sharing with Aldrin that I absolutely love how the Bible talks about the contrast between pride and humility, between a proud person and a person who's humble, and it's in Proverbs. If you want to look it up, I believe it's Proverbs 18:12, and it talks about how pride comes before destruction. So we know that anyone who is full of pride, what their destiny is. We know where they're heading. If you've got pride in you, we know your destiny is destruction. But it talks about humility comes before honor. So if you're humble, you carry a humble and contrite heart and spirit. We know where you're heading. You're heading to honor and respect, and that's not honor and respect of people, but that's honor and respect of God. And we shouldn't be people pleasers anyway. We should be pleasing the man himself.
Amen.
Amen. And you know, I was thinking about as I was reading all these scriptures. I was thinking about, how do you tell a person who's full of himself? How do you tell when someone's full of pride?
How do you?
Interesting question. My question back repeated to me. Cool. Well, okay. So we've got a few things that you can spot a proud man from a mile, and it's stuff like a person who's proud of himself, who's full of himself, will be bitter. He will be angry all the time. You know, he's always got something to moan about, or she's always got something to